Just a few years ago, Gina Loudon was a young, impressionable college student on her way to becoming the pride of her progressive college professors. Late one night, away from the supervision of the college faculty, in a freak accident, she was exposed to an overdose of common-sense conservatism. Since then, she has spent every waking moment unlearning everything she was programmed to believe during her college indoctrination. Join her in her re-education. This is the Dr. Gina Show.
You're coming into my house?
So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife.
Go get a real job.
Three-letter word, jobs, J-O-B-S.
The president and the first lady are kind of like the mom and the dad of the country. And when your dad says something, you listen.
They don't get a pass because they're young and stupid.
16 ounces is the maximum that they would be able to serve in one cup. If you want to order 2 cups at the same time, that's fine. It's your choice.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Where do they come up with this stuff?
This is the Dr. Gina Show.
And you are listening to the Dr. Gina Show. My next guest, one of those people that just inspires you. His whole family inspires me. His wife is one of the most adorable, amazing, strong women who understands what real feminine strength is, like few women, sadly, today do. And that is all to be attributed to strong leadership in her family. And they have taken this culture by storm from 19 kids and counting. Welcome back to the Dr. Gina Show, one of our all-time favorite guests, Jim Bob Duggar. How are you today?
Hello, Dr. Gina. We are doing great.
You are doing great. You're making some serious waves, not only in Arkansas, where you, of course, worked hard with your state legislature to pass the 12-week abortion rule, but now in North Dakota, 6 weeks. Now this passed, and there's a judge's injunction. I want you to explain to us exactly the status of things.
Well, I tell you what, this heartbeat bill is the best pro-life bill ever. And because everybody knows that if there's a heartbeat, there's life. Mm-hmm. And when this passed in Arkansas, I tell you what, there was the ACLU and all the different ones that were opposing it didn't even know what to say. Mm-hmm. Because everybody knows if there's a heartbeat, there's life. And now what they've done is they've gone to these liberal federal judges to try to stop these conservative pro-life bills. And they've got these judges to agree with them. But I think ultimately what's going to happen is we're going to have to replace a lot of these judges. And so we need Christians from all over America just to step up and to run for office, to run for these state representative seats, the state Senate seats, and any Christian attorneys out there, we need them to apply for these judgeships.
Yeah, absolutely. And because that is such an important part. A lot of people think, well, if I go vote and I make a call or two during the session to my state legislature and I send my $100 every year to my favorite pro-life organization, then I've done my part. But you're saying all of that is in vain if we don't replace these activist judges and also recruiting good candidates. We're going to get to that in a moment. But talk to people, for just the guy who's sitting out there, and he works 9 to 5, Jim Bob, and he thinks he's doing his part by doing the things I said. Talk to me about why it's so critical and how, from just a practical standpoint, how we go about replacing these judges.
Well, I'll tell you what, back several years ago, I was a small business owner, and we had, at the time, I think we had 13 children. We had 9 children when I first ran. We had 9 children. And I just, we had a doctor's appointment in Little Rock where, and it was in the same day that they were having a rally at the state capitol to ban partial birth abortion. And we ended up going by that rally, and there's 2,000 people out there begging the representatives and senators to ban partial birth abortion. And that day, instead of passing that ban, they voted it down. It was that day that God put on my heart to get involved. Even though I had never been involved in politics, you just never helped out really at all. But yet, I had 2 credentials. One is I knew I could vote the right way on life and death issues. and secondly, I probably could encourage other people to vote the right way. And that was really the foundation of me running for office and getting involved. And my whole family went. We went around the city and we campaigned and handed out these little picture cards that had our family picture on the front and what we stood for on the back. And it made a difference. We ended up winning that race just on a shoestring budget. And I could see the potential of people all over the nation doing the same thing. Families who want to make a difference in the pro-life cause, who want lower taxes, less government intervention in our lives, just stand up and run or help somebody else that's running. But we've got to get these extremists out of office, especially these judges that are ruling against these measures that would save babies' lives.
Now, talk to me for just a moment, because this is really critical timing, I think, when we watched, some of the most pro-life, most conservative Christian candidates get virtually crushed in the last election. I myself went on a bus tour for Todd Aiken, and what happened to him. The party completely abandoned him. And you've got someone like Karl Rove saying, at the top of the party, saying, who's running everything, the puppet master himself, saying, we shouldn't be talking about social issues. We shouldn't talk about pro-life. We shouldn't talk about these things. How's a guy to win and continue in politics with that kind of hogwash going on at the top?
Right. Well, I tell you what, it's kind of like the Democrat Party has been hijacked by a bunch of liberals. There's also a bunch of liberals that are slipping into the Republican Party, and so I really don't believe this is about supporting a party. It's really about supporting the core values that a nation was founded on, and we need people that will rise up and stand up and make a difference. And so, and don't worry about the party. I mean, the party, if you're running for office, the party will do very little for you. You just have to go and run your own race, and there's several different great groups that can help people who are desiring to run for office and teach them all about how to run for office. And matter of fact, my son, Josh, just got a job as working for Family Research Council, and they have a lot of great training programs, and just encourage people to check out, their group, and they can also go to our website too, and we've got a lot of links to things that have helped us in our lives.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, there are so many great organizations. I love to turn to. Concerned Women for America is one. Eagle Forum is another that I've done a lot of work with. There are so many, and I'm glad you're on top of this, because I think most people think that there's some magic in running for office. I mean, you're Jim Bob Duggar. You're the father of 19 kids and counting. We, of course, think that you could run for office, but a lot of people think, really, me? I mean, how could I do it? I have a family to support. Talk to us about how important it is that Christian conservatives consider running for office themselves, or at least actively recruiting someone to run and helping them.
Right. I think there's a lot of people who are like pastors out there who, they're in the pulpit, Sunday and Wednesday night, but they have a lot more flexibility and free time. And I think about Governor Huckabee, who he had for years prayed about making a difference and tried to get behind other people making a difference. And then finally God just put on his heart, hey, you're the one that needs to run for office. And so I know when he announced to his congregation that he was going to run for office, it was a pretty controversial thing. And he ended up, in fact, even resigning from his church. And there was a lot of people that thought he was making the biggest mistake of his life. But to see now how he's used those skills that God gave him to influence our culture, and every day he's on the radio, he's been able to, just to share a lot of the truths, biblical truths of that our nation was founded on. He's really making a difference. And, of course, he was our governor for over 10 years, and just appreciate people like him who get involved, and they really can make a difference.
I'm glad you brought up Governor Huckabee, because a lot of people ask me, knowing that I have, sort of spoken with him or been different places where he is, and they think that that I can talk to him about this, but I haven't been able to talk to him about this particular topic. A lot of people ask me about Common Core. And at least at some point, Governor Huckabee was supportive of Common Core. I wonder if you have any update on that or if you've had that conversation with him.
I don't, and I'm not an expert in that, but I think we have to be very careful about any of these federally mandated programs that are trying to brainwash our kids from the federal level down.
Mm-hmm.
I think we really believe in local control of the schools and letting the local school boards decide the curriculum.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that maybe sometime you'll have a chance to talk to the governor about that, and I certainly will if I see him first. But I do appreciate all the work that you all do. And give us your website so folks can go there and prayerfully consider either running for office or helping to recruit someone and then help them once you've recruited them to run for office. What's your website, Jim Bob?
Yeah, our website is DuggarFamily.com. And then also ask people California and throughout the country to look into filing these heartbeat bills, just like this one that was filed in Texas recently. The heartbeat bill is the best pro-life bill ever, and I pray that people will get behind that and will give money towards the people that are lobbying for that. And I really believe it's the best chance to educate people and to make a difference in our country for the pro-life cause.
All right, awesome. The DuggarFamily.com. I'm sure there's a lot of information as well on the heartbeat bill there. But everybody in every state should try and get one of their lawmakers to sponsor this bill and then others to sign on. So, listeners, if you've been supportive of a certain candidate, this is the time to approach them with the question, hey, would you be willing to sponsor this bill? Jim Bob, love to the family. Thank you so much for being on the Dr. Gina Show again, and God bless you guys in your continued activism.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Gina.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Coming up, is Obama worse than a dictator? I think I can make the case that he is. You stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Gina Show. God, guns, and gear. The things you need to be a proper conservative these days. Go to the Dr. Gina site at docgtv.com. That's docgtv.com for all of your Patriot gear, including concealed carry handbags, the best T-shirts you'll find anywhere, and even jewelry for that special woman in your life who enjoys her freedoms as well. docgtv.com. docgtv.com. Go there for your Patriot gear.
Right now in Washington, D.C. and many states around the country, there are radical leftists who would like to disarm Americans. That's why Gun Owners of America was founded over 35 years ago. Gun Owners of America is here for only two reasons: to lobby to protect the Second Amendment and to replace anti-gun politicians with pro-gun Americans who actually understand what the Constitution says. Gun Owners of America has been called the only no-compromise gun lobby in Washington, D.C. Join today at Gun